I guess my camera's slowing down or something. I have a home camera, and it seems like the video keeps sticking or something as it plays. I think it's something with the software that's in my computer. But anyway, hello everybody out there. Hope you have a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you have seen this video for the first time. I want to make a video. This is going to be going to it's going back to a different topic. And this topic is called, if black people get reparations, what should they do? The reason why is because that's once in a while you'll hear something about reparations. You see that Japanese Americans got reparations. Certain Native American Indians get reparations. The people that were in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and all the different people who were part of that concentration camp during the time of the Nazi era got their reparation. And you see how basically, and some took the reparation and some repatronized back to Israel. But basically some of them did, and some of them was able to flourish, and some of them was able to have their own businesses and pretty much start their own different outlets and campaigns and do whatever they want to do with their part of their reparations, in which their descendants are still are living off of today. And so the topic about reparation has come up, and in America they want to put it into a program. They want to study the program. This is what things been thrown up is about. So my suggestion is, let's say the descendants of the people that were slaves in this country get the reparations, and they decide to come to as a group and decide, we're going to give you a certain amount of money that for the payback and an apology and a few other things that they do. What most people who are descendants of slaves who are black going to have to do, a certain segment going to have to do. It came to me this morning. You're going to have to leave the country. Some of you going to have to leave the country. You say, why would some have to leave the country? Number one thing, if a government gives a certain amount of money to African Americans, some of us, going to do the right thing. A good percentage will have the brains learn from history and time what happened and try to be wise on how they're going to be able to survive for the next century or so. Then you have some of us that live for today and have no clue and just want to show out and show off and show out. There's a segment of people in the community is like that. And and after they spend all days up, all their money up, and to some that where they were qualified, and now it's gonna push others to want to be jealous and want to get more of your stuff, because some of us still got that envious spirit from the descendants during the time, because some of us were envious of other blacks, and this is the truth. And so it's like most of us wasn't on one accord. So the ones who have the brains, the ones that understand what I'm talking about, you're gonna have to come together, and the ones be in agreement. And if the government decides whether you want to stay in this country or you want to leave this country, hopefully another nation will open up and welcome you to do commerce and business. And if they decide to do the right thing, that it would be safe, and it's a certain segment of us would have to survive. Now, for the ones who want to stay here, that's up to you. But my suggestion is you go to a secluded area in some part of the area. It's like the way most rich people do, and and have to really, use it. Because the collective, as a community, they're gonna be other people. ones who try to make a go of it. Because people get desperate, and some people get into, they go out there in the area, they get just people just basically these people are just stealing stuff for just to be stealing. We had a case here in Columbus, Ohio, where an elderly man had a cane, one of those roll-up canes for him to sit down, and some jackass turned around and took his cane. Now the man can't get out of his own house. I mean, people are just lost their damn mind about stealing stuff. And, usually when something like, let's say they break into a church, which I don't advocate someone should break into anything. But when they break into a house, what they do, they take appliances, they take money, they take jewelry, they take television, stereos, and things like that. They break into the church, or they break into a commercial. They try to steal the air conditioning. They try to get copper or wire, or anything is of value, so they try to sell it on the hot market. Okay, this is what most people do. That's why they feel it. That's why they did it, or they just want to find something when they steal something, sell it on the street. And you got some, or sell it over they sell it over the internet, in which they'd be stupid if they sell it over social media, because the law enforcement be over social media, so that's how they dumbass get caught or whatever. And sometimes they get and sure enough that they do, but they going to steal. So that's why I mentioned you got to be wise on even the people. When you have things and you about to get inheritance, and you about to get watch for people who have some kind of substance abuse. Well, watch for people that just you just got avoid people who have a criminality and what they look like, because some people have the criminality. Like, you ever come across some people, and I was think about it as a joke yesterday. And you get one of these dumbass people that confess what they do. And you ever been around some people that they talk too much, and they just they feel like someone that look like them, somehow that they're gonna figure out that the person is not gonna trust being in their presence. For example, let's say you meet somebody in the hood, right? You meet somebody in the hood, and they said, "Man, I knocked this white boy off his brain." Well, why'd you rob the white guy? Well, because he's white, because that white boy supposed to pay up some paper, and hey, I got to do what I got to do, and they got this kind of mentality, like they got to do what they got to do, they had to, white people like they had some money, so they had to rob them. Well, logic and sense would say, damn, You know, it's like, and they feel justified. You got people that got that kind of mindset. They were justifying robbing somebody based on. I'm just using that as an example. And it's like, yeah, they just because hey, like he has some money, and you know we gotta make that plan. We gotta get that paper, you know, and you gotta get away from those kind of people with that kind of mindset, and you can't let those kind of people, and you can't trust those kind of people in your environment, and they look just like you, but because they just sit up and they just confess a felony to you and don't even realize that you know it. But they think that you cool, that you good, you ain't gonna be no snitching, no rat or whatever, but you definitely gonna be watching because you know this person just sit down and they were serious about it too. They stepped in and told you what they did to some individual just based on he thought they had some money and based on, you know, in his case because what the person looked like. And you got some dumbass people that would say some stuff like that. So them the kind of people you have to be aware about. And it could be someone with your brother's cousin's friend. If you hear anybody talk like that, don't bring them over to your house. You don't don't tell them you got anything, because them the kind of person will rob and have someone rob and break in your house and try to shoot you. That's the kind of mindset you gotta watch people like that. And nobody say, man, we all good. We wouldn't do something like that, man. No, man, we bull crap. That they would do. That's the kind of, if any individual would talk like that, that's the kind of individual you need to be aware about. And that's something. There's a certain segment of our people and some other people that have that kind of mind, especially if they're from a certain poverty mindset. That's the first thing they do. If they've been locked up for burglary and, you know, because of whatever reason, you know, they were a bad seed in the family. You know, that's what they all did. They just kept on breaking into houses and garages and cars and businesses, and that's what they did. And found that they get locked up, they come back out on the street, go back to what they're doing again. And so them the kind of people you kind of need to stay away from, because they haven't really rehabbed their mind to realize this is wrong. And what you do either is going to two things. It's going to put you in prison for a long time, or you're going to end up in some grave. But you got some people that want to take that chance. They have that kind of ignorant mentality. So them the kind of people, go back to what I said about the reparation. You can't let everybody know you getting some money. Just the same way with the lottery. You ever see somebody and they say, well, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so won a $500 million lottery ticket, and they're somewhere in Ohio somewhere. You don't even know where they're at. You have to be incognito. You can't go around bragging about that, and you can't really show what you got. And any billionaire or millionaire will hear this video, will understand what I'm talking about, because they know people are crazy. People are just insane. They are. I mean, you can't tell somebody, oh, that dude got money. You know, and as soon as you get the money, you get people coming out of nowhere trying to try you. I mean, even if you have a halfway decent, and some of you know this too. You ever move into a neighborhood and you just about in the same class, you got a halfway decent vehicle, and you the new cat on the block. And they trying to figure out who you are. They don't know, and they see they see you got some nice stuff. So here they come trying to be all of a sudden they be a fast friend and a fast neighbor, and otherwise if they would see you on the street and you was in some bummy clothes or something like that, they wouldn't even pay you no amount. And you come into a junky vehicle, they wouldn't even bother with you. They wouldn't even mess with you. They wouldn't even have no time for you. So them the kind of, and they think that because their mindset, this is the funny part, they think that their mindset is gonna be slick, that they're gonna out-slick you. But they don't understand, because they see some people got this mindset that some that live in poverty, they got this mindset that they live in that neighborhood, they got a certain crew, and they got a certain mindset, and everybody they don't have the mindset how to speak and talk fast game, and so they think that the rest of the people are naive or they slow, and so what they don't realize that most people exercise. Not everybody's naive and slow unless they have a weak habit, like if they have a substance habit of alcohol and drugs. Now you got that kind of habit. You writing everything and everything out of a healthy creation too, because there's gonna be some deceptive people that they're gonna be jealous of what you got. You sitting on some tight ass money. Someone know you from some, and it could be someone you think is cool as a partner, or it could be someone you think is cool as a girlfriend can set you up and say this dude got some money, and he's a lame he's a lame duck dude. We can go make this fast money, and her brother might just be a criminal, or cousins might be. So you have to be really wise on what kind of company you entertain, and that's why some people are taken out just because of that reason. So you have to be very discerning, and you can be cool, but listen. That's why I said listen to your people who love you, who if they see what you had, they're not going to turn against you. If you have close friends and family, and God gave them some type of discernment to save you from all that stuff, don't turn a deaf ear to them, because they might be trying to save your life, and they see some people that you can't see, but you just think that they being cool, that y'all around kicking and jiving and things like that. But among the kicking and jiving the people, some people, got that mindset, because when they start listening to a certain type of music, the type of music that they listen to, they emulate whatever music that they got to. Sometimes, and unfortunately, in cases with the rap music, whatever the rapper put it in the music, they rap about it. So it's like, man, they want to be down with that rapper, and whatever if he's talking about getting that fast money and slapping women around, whatever, and hey, you gotta go yank a person, whatever. They want that music is influencing them to do that. And even though some people can take music as entertainment, then some people get motivated. They get music. You know how music can alternate a person's personality. Music can lift you up. Some music can let you down. Some music can make you want to charge. And so just imagine how some music is played out when it comes to some people that want to do some dirt. They listen to the wrong kind of rap music or whatever. This dude talk about, him and his boys have to go and slap somebody up and gank their money or something like that. 9 chances out of 10, someone's going to be influenced off that kind of music and not even know that's what they do. Some people can look at this as entertainment and don't act on it, but you got certain people that do, that they try to make that fast money. That's why you see the young guys in the video, and they rapping and stuff, they balling, they flashing with the wads and everything, and man, this is how we get that money, and they got the fancy cars and the rented jewelry and the rented Rolls Royce, and they want to live what they call ghetto fabulous, and what we call ghetto fabulous. So you have to be careful of those ghetto fabulous people, because it's like, man, that's all what they want. They want to live by the day and die by the dollar, and them the kind of people you need to separate from. But the ones that got the visionary, the ones who have the structure on how to handle money, and they learn from, maybe they've been around people that taught them that don't let it. It's nothing wrong with what you enjoy, but be careful how you enjoy it and where you enjoy your money at. Go to some seclusive area and enjoy your money around other seclusive people, because that's the best thing. That might have to be a private town or a resort somewhere, because you can't live around other people who it's unfortunate. And that's just dealing with your people and with our people. Because these other people, that you might have someone that's from the hills and from that's cracked out on meth or something like that, and they go in any neighborhood. They find out they had the same mindset too, that they want to break in, and Billy Bob is on meth, and he goes out and he breaks in the garages. He goes way out in the country. He goes stealing tractors and things like that, and he breaks into buildings and trying to steal copper off the doggone tower and stuff like that. He's just stealing everything just to get some metal, off the building. And you see it in every city in America. You see some dumb ass people doing something like that. So you got some Billy Bob, who's on crack and on meth. So that's another person you got to be aware about. Or might have some people that's them young people who are part of the other group that they're part of some kind of gang, whatever it is. So they're gonna go out there and try to make that fast money, and they're gonna go out there and try to intimidate some people. And in certain parts of the country, that's going on right now. So this is what I'm basically saying. So that's why I said some of you who have the visionary, who want peace, who want to live, hopefully, if that ever was supposed to happen in our lifetime, some of you gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to go. Some of us, and the ones who's gonna stay here in this country, be wise on and be discerning, and let the Most High God show you the ones who have the vision and who learn from history. Do you know this? That here comes a segment group. If you get $1 trillion, they want to get $1 zillion off of you. They're gonna try because they feel like you can't handle your money. If they can keep you in the same go around. And the reason why I said someone's gonna have to leave, because you will break that cycle of what was being indoctrinated among our people. We've been indoctrinated, and we were indoctrinated in this country like a slave. That we have to owe our slave masters, even though that slavery is gone, but the spirit of the slave master is still. They want to feel like they can talk to you. They want to feel like they can control you. They want to feel like they have to be around you. They want to be around you because they feel like you need some assistance. But at the same time that you have some that's trying to be your friend and try to feel like they want to be part of the all solution, but clearly they come up with their own agenda. So you have to be discerning about that too. And that's why some of us end up losing businesses that we got. That's why some of us are in a condition, because you and I know in the African American community that it wasn't always like this. Something happened. Something happened over the last 30 some years that most black businesses that was in the corridor in your town and your city in America. It wasn't always like this. There were some people with the visionary. There were some people, just like you see other communities of people today, they put their stuff together and they operate. So everybody, they have their own section where they speak their own language and they feel comfortable being around their own people in a pretty decent setting, because everybody is part of the working class. And then they protected. There are a group of people that open up their businesses in the neighborhood where they know the police and security is going to respond that somebody's trying to take and break and take their stuff. That's why some people go to the suburbs. Excuse me. That's why they're out there in the suburbs, just like here in Ohio. Most of those people, and I did this on a segment of my video, you have Latinos, you have East Indians, Middle Eastern people who are like Asian, like Chinese, Koreans, Japanese, some of the people from like Burma and Nepal. They put their business in around the decent areas where it's heavily patrolled, and the people support them. That's a good idea to do something like that, and it feels something. In the same way, in a certain segment, but of course, and you have the other area where you have here in Ohio, where you have the Somalian group, you have the different other people from different parts of Africa that have churches and they have businesses here, and they were given, most of all these groups of people were given grants on, because some people just start over in poverty. Not every person started over here from poverty from one place, come up to the grant. There had to be someone that opened up a door for that business, for them to operate a family business to get that money. And you and I know that even some of us, even if you have the decent credit, whatever, as African Americans, you know that they're gonna put you through a whole different. They got you in a separate category as far as finances, but they can't see it because America's been great. Let's be honest, and to them, that's why they just say, "Wow, how come these people can't get together? They've been here for so long. Why they being?" It seems like a certain part of it is just being lazy. They don't know. They don't know the whole story, and they misinformed. And even though they see some representatives that look like us, but they're not for us. They're not for us at all. There's a segment of people that look like you, but they're not for you. In fact, there's someone who wanted to vote if they agree and vote against it. This is what we don't need to do, but they see millions, thousands of our people. You hear some people that look like us that go along with the same gravy boat that they know the problem, but they don't want to solve the problem. They just they want the history, and they want to be known in the history books. But they don't want to do anything right by their people because they want to be for all people. They want to be for all people and not their own people. You have a segment of people, of black people who get in high places. They do that stuff. They want to be about everybody else. And some of these people who get to high places, they're gonna help out. Before they get to all people, they're gonna help out they people. They don't talk about all people when they get to the top. They're looking at they people. Why? Because the people they're gonna feel connected to because they see their sons, their nephews, their nieces as some of their own. Let's be and like I said before, this is a human race. It's a race for resources. It's a race for access to the things and everybody want to get to it. And people can talk about when we all at the bottom. We want all everything, but the reality of it is, quiet as it kept. French, and I saw this. I was like, wow, and an African fella told me this. Because he thought I was one of them, one of the Africans. I said, no, I'm originally from this country. But he said, oh, it's too bad because I thought, you being different, he started speaking French to me. Because once they speak French, it's like, they say, hey, what oh, you from that tribe, and blah, blah, blah. This is among Africans, some from Ivory. A lot of Americans don't know this either. But when you hear that sometimes, it's like, well, how this guy can be from Cameroon, and this guy can be from Kelvor or one could be from Zambia, and the other one could be from Gambia or somewhere. How did they do this? They come, so it's like, okay, and they just come from the country, so they say, so some is able to speak English, but there's Africans that can speak French, and then there's the Africans that can speak their native dialect. This is among different African groups of people that come into this country. It's the same way it was the same thing when you go into the East Indian community. They do that. They can speak what they call Hindi, and they go into a whole. It's the sound like it's the mixture. They can talk to you English and mix, and you can tell with the Hindi accent. But when it's a person speaking straight up Hindi in front of you, and they're able to flow with each other, and they speak their language of Hindi from India. You go among the Koreans, you go among the Chinese, you go around the Vietnamese. It's the same way. You go around the Russian people, you go around the Eastern European people. It's the same way. Every group of people at first are going to come together as a people, and they're going to operate, going to help out their own. Then they kind of gravitate to you. This is what they do, but they're going to help out their own. They're going to get whatever the government give to them. That's just the way that's the way it is. It's the truth. The Greek community, the Italian community, the German community, the Irish community, every community look out for their own. They do. This is the truth. And it's like, man, no, it's just being racist. No, that's just self-preservation. That's what they do. Now they like you as a friend and as an educational pod, but they're not gonna tell you everything, because they say, hey, you know the deal. You one of us. And rightfully so. That's why. But they don't. But all these different groups that I mentioned to you, they don't know the whole our own story. And then what the media told them, they never took the time. Most would be interested in knowing about our history. So we know our history. We know what we've been through. We know the crises. We know the red tape as African Americans. We know, most of us who got to a certain degree. We know how the way this system goes. Some of them just getting here, and some even do some. If they have an inkling that they know, they're not gonna let you know. Let's face the fact. But that's what I'm saying. If there's a country that do, and let's hear what this one guy was saying. Some of us gonna have to go, and a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters don't understand this. So for the ones who decide to go, and that nation able to open up something, you can able to be respectful and know how to handle and understand the barriers and language, and you can collide with whatever part of the world you go from. Brother and sister, I salute you. You get up out of here. I'm be honest with you. You do what you got to do. And don't let some art people, I heard it's over there, it's war-torn country, and blah, blah, this and blah. Don't erase the negative. They learn from history. They already brainwashed us. One man tried to do it before. What was his name? Marcus Garvey. Did you think that, and it's just like the Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, you think every black person would want? No, most black people didn't want to get free. They didn't want to get free when Harriet Tubman Tubman and Nat Turner, and then all them other people wanted to leave. You had some black folks that kept telling them that you were crazy, you gonna get killed, you don't know where you're going, we don't know where we're heading, and and it was so conditioned. Then you had some that turned and told the headmasters who was plotting, who was planning. So some got beat to death, some got scarred to death, castrated to death, because someone turned their back on somebody just for some food and some days off on the plantation. Let's be realistic. So there's going to be a certain people who have a segment of a mind among your own people, even though that's come from the past. It was projected to the 19th century when Garvey tried to do it. It was the same way. He was trying to find some country because American blacks were getting abused and lynched and everything by the hundreds of thousands. It was an operation. They didn't just come at it. They had to use somebody out to figure out which one would sell out and which one would give up. Give the other up to let them know so we could contain and continuously put them in bondage. It's the same doggone thing. Even if you go back even towards the Bible, it's the same way. But every time when there's a man that rise or a woman that rise up and see her people getting neglected and see their people get beat down, and they want to do something because they see the cry in the earth and they loved it. There are black people that love black people so doggone much that they're trying to get them free. They want to set them free. But you got a segment of black people that don't want to be free. There's a segment of black people that just they love staying in their captivity. And that's the truth. They want to believe that they want to hold on to whatever it is. And even despite the murder, the madness and everything. Not that other people are not suffering daily consequences of whatever contributed to that. But you see that yours is suffering a much 10 times worse. And you know the true history why this spike in crime in the victim and the perpetrator and the victim is all mostly what they look like in most cases. Then you have someone who operate by the law, who supposed to be representing the state and the county and the state of that law, who supposed to be under the principle, who supposed to be policing the right way. They turn out they're the dog. Some of them have among their people okay to cover up what they do. It's like, damn, you can't win for losing. And we can't criticize other people because there might be some corruption in their land or their island, their country, but at least if that's the case, you can work out them things better than anything. It's always corruption. Yes, corruption in every part of the world, including here. Technically, when you think about it, with politicians and everything. But if you know the laws and you form your own nation, whatever, just like other people form their own nation, and no one messes with them in this country. There's certain groups of people and they live peacefully, and they don't get involved with the world, and because they have a certain spiritual, religious aspect of way of living. The prime example, look at the Canaanite and the Amish community. They have that's a perfect example how they hear, but no one don't bother them because they don't bother other people. They believe in their spiritual and a religious constitutional right in this country, and though they stand out because of the way they dress or whatever, they have a peaceful life, and they know how to live off the land. But majority of us wouldn't know how to do that in the first place. Let's be honest, because we've been so spoiled with technology. We're so spoiled with what we eat and what we food when we go out to restaurants, where they can whip up something, bam, homegrown their food and vegetables and garden up they stuff, and they good. But they know how to survive off the land, and they know how to keep the outsiders out, and they know how to establish a law in which the law respect them, because they are different sets of people. That's the truth. We can learn something from, and that's I said. Hopefully, a nation would do that if you decide to get your reparation and go to another part of the world, and hopefully they can operate, and you can do business and commerce with them, and able to bring something to them, and knowing that you've been and get a spiritual healing of bringing somewhat of peace and stability to their land. And then your kids will be raised for generations to come with that. And it's about the future. Right now, I mean, the madness goes all different direction. I mean, this country has a Babylonian system mind, and it's kind of hard to raise a family up and be because this world is so corrupt with it now, with the ways of trying to influence the mainstream to try to influence even your family that you're raising up. To take everything you morally put into your children, your grandchildren. Now they're trying to disrupt it and everything for their own deeds and own purposes. Everything that's perverted now is made for good. Whatever was evil and bad is turning to good. We can see it right now. Even they so bold to put it in the cartoon. If you got young kids in your family, they so bold, they so direct with the stuff now. They teach it in your schools. Right now, you don't even know what your kids being taught in school. They even bring the perversion among your schools, and your kids. You hear your kids just trying to be average children, and but they try to throw this stuff at them. This is how much of a demonic world we live in. And all children going to be taught this stuff because this country have gone way off the board. That's why some of the reasons why we up under this pandemic and crises in weather patterns and everything else is hitting this land, because we have lost along the way. This is the truth. That's why young people are losing their life. No, because the most vulnerable things that have been doing in this land, that we repeating the same things they did in Rome, the same things they did in Egypt, the same thing they did in Greece. All America has adopted everything. And that's right now that she's paying for it. She adopted every other gods and every other whatever the descendants of the way they pay homage to their gods. America is adopted that. Then it's the Most High, and they told the Most High and His Son, we don't want your moral system. They told the Creator of all systems, we're gonna worship all the other gods. We're gonna make the God of the land, the God of the ocean, the God of they call it the sun god. That they want to worship every other thing, but the actual Creator that put generations of us into this family. They told God, this country did this. This country told God, who made the plants, the skies that you see, the oxygen that's in the air. We don't want your system. We want to develop our own system. They doing the same thing that they did back then. This is what you're seeing. That's why the world is in the United States experience every other thing, every upheaval that you can. And every time when some people bring something morality to a stable, they disrupt it. They throw it with laws. This is what's going on. This is why you're seeing all this madness. And even your children is got to be subjected to. Your grandchildren, or your great-grandchildren, however how old you are, they're going to see this madness. They remember that, and to bring some type of normalcy for them to be kids, they trying to make them be adults. When they're 7, 8 years old, doing adult things, they ain't get a chance to even enjoy their childhood like you and I did. This is how perverted this world has have got. So no, that's what I was saying. If you ever get something, get some wealth, you might decide to get some kind of, and it was again, I was saying earlier about reparations, and you get that wealth, if you can choose to stay here, I would suggest going to an isolated, secluded place. You're going to have to leave a certain percentage of your people and pop in every now and then, but you can't build wealth and be running out the mouth. You have to zip and use wisdom. You can't let everybody know what you're doing, because if you riding around with a Rolls Royce in the neighborhood, it's like ding, 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 and wearing gold chains and stuff like that. People don't understand that you can't do this in a certain environment. Right now, we are in a desperate. People are losing their job. They about to get cut off assistance and unemployment, food stamps, and whatever else they're gonna cut, and they're gonna get desperate. So, if God ever bless you with some type of wealth, you're gonna have to get away from a certain percentage of people because they're gonna rob you. And break in your house and see what they can get a value to try to sell to get that money. Gonna have some criminal-minded people. I'm just telling you the truth. That's why some people, I mentioned earlier about people who win the lottery, they don't want their name known because people are gonna automatically they're gonna come dip. You get every cunning, crafty person coming up with some game and throwing some game on you, and they can come into a suit and tie. They know how to uplift themselves, but you won't know. That's why my heart goes out to people who have money. And he said, why is that? Because they can't enjoy what they have. They have to stay secluded. All those wealthy people, whether they're athlete, whether they're a star, whether they're a celebrity, look what they have to go through. Something go wrong, they trying to do out what most of us do. And they act up. Guess what? Even though they got the wealth to get out, but everybody's trying to be next to them because we live in a society that try to draw off of other people. If you got whatever resource that you got, if I had to kill you to get it and rob you to get it and con you and craft you to get it, they'll do it. And whether it's someone who's your friend or someone come up of the opposite sex, same sex, opposite sex, you always got to be on code. You always got to be on guard. And when you're a person with money and with great means, you have to use discernment. This is what I learned. You can't learn. You have to zip your lips in whatever God give you. And as sometimes you want to share our stuff, but you have to be wise on who you share your information with, because you're gonna have a whole lot of people. You got to show you who has a jealous heart, who has a crafty heart, who has a manipulating heart, who will stab you in the back, who you think were close to you. This is the truth. So if this was supposed to happen in our lifetime, it's possible. This was going to have to be done. Can't tell everybody. Hear me by my spirit. You can't tell everybody. And if you're one of the ones that's selected, you can't tell everybody. This is the truth. Because you have a lot of crazy, mad people who are willing to do anything to run over you, to gain what you have. Even if you were anointed, they would try to zap your anointing. This is the truth. That's how jealousy and envy is. That's how deep of a spirit it goes. You gotta remember, the first one was the one that is the enemy that is opposed to the one that made everything. So this world patterns, some people in this demonic world, the pattern after the devil, Satan. So that's the truth. So I hope you learned something from this lesson. Again, if you ever get your reparation, remember, I said, if a top opportunity ever leave, get up and go to somewhere where other people of great means is at. And like they have over in different parts where they have guards and high gates and stuff like that, because people even over there are desperate. Because you come over there, whatever, you know what I'm saying, unless you come there, and there's going to be a righteous people is going to be there that going to need some people who, even if they're in poverty, they're not going to come and jip you or rip you off. They just want to get, they just want to, if you employ them, they just want the best things out of life. But you got that segment that's like anywhere else is going to try to come with some crafty. So that's my spiel for it. But that's the reality of this world. This is the kind of world we live in, and you need to know it's the truth. I mean, and I heard that one gentleman, Grandmaster Jay, say this. That's why he's trying to establish it. It's good that it is what we want. We want to create our own nation. That's why. Yes, I don't blame him. I mean, there's everything what I just said earlier is true. That's he know there's a certain percentage of people that are going to turn against you, and they don't like to see what you have, and they will turn to the enemy and let the enemy know where you're located at, because they want that position, or they want that power, and everybody wants to be that power. Nobody wants to understand how to go it the right way to get promoted to power. Still gonna be one individual that wants to have it all. They can, because even if God give you something, they covered over your stuff. They want what you have. They want, even though it was given to you, they want what you. They think they could do better, and turn around that in the end it falls flat. It's going well because they infiltrate and they manipulate, but in the end it's gonna fall because there's no anointing, there's no blessing on it, there's nothing to prosper off of it, because they had the wrong spirit, they had the wrong mindset. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. You can't tell everybody, and I learned this too. When God gives you something, listen to Him, because as long as you're in this planet and you want to prosper, He's the only one that's going to keep you alive and keep those invaders away. He's the only one. That's why I said go to the Most High, because you can't. There's certain things that you'll be able to discern, but certain things you won't be able to see that He can see. And when you got His favor on your life, that makes a difference. Because people, whether you think some can try something, they're cool, they're crafty, their personality, and you might fall in love with their personality. Then they kind of find out they wasn't said who they were. They was a manipulator. They was a kind of crafty person. That's why we have His Spirit, which is the Holy Spirit, to reveal all, to take the blinders off our eyes and take us up in the Spirit to show all these things is around us, where you had a relationship with the Father. So that's my suggestion for now. If we ever get reparations, black people, some was with the division, some was with the skill set, some was be one of the ones. If you the ones that want to go, I don't blame you. The ones that want to stay here, that's on them. It's on them. If history don't show you about Wall Street and Tulsa and Homestead, Florida, and look what happened. How did they get to that? And what happened to Emmett Till and all these other individuals? Think about that. How did someone come in and rush in like that if we was all together? Till next time, food for thought. My name is James. Take care. And be blessed wherever you at. And I hope one day it will come true. That what we can do when we get old, because time and history and the truth will come forth in this lifetime. But if it don't, you may get rewarded in the next life. But until next time, you guys take care. You be blessed wherever you at in the world. And those of you that take heed to my message and listen to me, go for the ones who have the visionary. Go with the ones that have the structure. Go with the one that know how to lead by the book. Because them the ones that's going to take, if they follow by like the Moses and the Joshua of their day, if we have the Moshe Joshua, this day said it's time to exodus this way, go, do it. Don't, just do it. In the spirit, connect with your spirit, do it. Because that's the only way you're going to make it to safety. All right then, till next time, you guys take care.